If someone gave you a one-time pass to go back to childhood and redo everything with the knowledge you have now, would you do it? Why or why not? In first grade about 35 years ago, our class had a restroom in it. For whatever reason, I went into the restroom, got completely naked and covered myself in toilet paper like a mummy. If I could go back in time, I would go back to that point to make sure I locked the door. A kid came up and opened it for the whole class to see. I love that the only thing you'd change about this is locking the door. You'd still get naked and wrap up mummy styles. Used to be really into Bitcoin when I was younger, but never had the money to buy some. Still remember when it was only 400 US per coin. Used to be into Tesla too when it was only a fraction of what it costs today for the stocks. Once again, was too young broke to get into it. Now my dad is watching real closely for whatever I get interested in next, just in case that takes off too. I can remember many years ago, gold was 300 US-ish dollars an ounce. A little voice told me to go buy a bunch of gold. Didn't listen to said little voice, and not long after gold was 1500 US or more an ounce. Big regret. Absolutely. If I knew then what I know today, I could have avoided the pain, abuse, poor decisions. I would be kind to myself and do the right thing. You never know how much time you have as a kid until it is gone. Also, I'd make good financial moves. Absolutely. My childhood was not good. I didn't get the chance to grow up properly because I had to shoulder too much responsibility, and there was a bunch of medical help I needed at a young age that I didn't get. So yeah, I'd absolutely do it. Use the chance to be a kid, an actual kid. Playgrounders on the playground. Do the little things I never got to. Also, I got like $12,000 when I was 14, and no one told me how to manage finances properly, so I totally wasted it. Tough call, but quite possibly, if I get to keep all my current memories and maturity, hormones would still hit. But I think I could deal with them with the prior experience under my belt. The main reason to do it, frankly, would be to do some early work to make some quick but honest money. Skip a lot of frivolous or erroneous spending like in vehicles or repairs or technology that didn't work well, and invest in some specific stocks. And yes, eventually Bitcoin. Make a ton of money and come out way ahead. I don't have a lot of regrets from childhood that were in my control. But honestly, I'd actually skip some of the less important friendships and romantic relationships or lack thereof that ended up being a waste of time. I don't have to worry about them making me a different person because I would still have those experiences. I could just put that time to better use. I'd still try to keep the ones that I think were valuable to both of us because I don't want to negatively affect someone else's life. I'm single with no kids, so I don't have to worry about not having the same exact kids, which is a valid concern for those with kids because the scientific probability is that you would never have exactly the same kids, genetically speaking. I would have started regular physical exercise, strength and flexibility much earlier and maintained them throughout. I would have taken better care of my teeth in my teen and college years. For that matter, I'd have to really think about whether I wanted to go to college. Most likely I would, to meet some of the worthwhile friends, and I'd probably do better in my studies. But if the investments worked out as planned, I wouldn't need the degree. My job life has been okay, but I don't really think I would need them from a social standpoint. So, again, if the investments worked, I might well never take the same jobs, or any jobs. I'd have to seriously consider whether to pursue romantic relationships with a couple people who I think might have worked out if I had been more forward. Well, only one. If the first one worked out, you get the idea. The problem is, I'm going back to my childhood with the same maturity of who I am now. Part of being a child is being a child, but I would be a 20-year-old in a 5-year-old body. There's no way I could fit in with my friends and classmates, do the same activities I did when I was young, and wait long enough for life to reach the point again I was comfortable with. There are a few things I wish I did when I was younger, but I don't think correcting those are worth the many years of torture I would endure while there. I feel like this is a case of the grass is greener on the other side. For me, it would be awesome. Growing up, I was as awkward as it comes, having hardly been socialized before school. I feel like I've always lagged behind others when figuring life out, so I would love to be chilling in 2nd grade, already knowing what's up. I'll color so freaking well this time. Keep in between the lines and whatnot. I'll climb the social ladders so easily since I've had countless showers where I thought of the exact perfect comebacks to certain situations that I would now be reliving through. Then I'd get to go home and hang out with my big bro and mom and spend more time with them, helping them and teaching them lessons and making our family even more awesome. Imagine being able to take back what a little ungrateful shit I used to be and actually help cook dinner and clean up without bitching about it and stuff. Absolutely. A lot of the wrongs I've committed in my life have made me who I am, and I don't think I'd revoke most of them, but I would definitely make sure I was better at apologizing and showing remorse to those I wronged. I'd come out as trans sooner. It would make my life so much better. I'd be shorter. I'd be more comfortable with my body. I'd be also able to make smart financial decisions and not have the depression I had in school because I was in the closet, so my grades would be better. Absolutely the same. Getting started earlier. It would make so much of a difference for my mental health, my body, my dysphoria. 100%, and without even thinking about it. Also, I could tell my grandma to get checked for colon cancer earlier. Might have given her some more good years. It would be tempting, but no, for the following reasons. If we accept the multiple timelines theory, then you would create a new branch, leaving your own unchanged, in case the purpose is to change stuff and go back. If we accept that whatever you change affects your reality, then you would be changing your loved ones too. Maybe a slight change, but they won't be the ones you knew. You would be robbing your young self of experiencing a lot of stuff like a parasite. You already had your chance and blew it, so leave the fucking kid alone. I would do it to avoid my eating disorder and traumatic years once adolescence began. I am in my 30s today and still suffer physically and medically from the choices I made as a child. It sounds bizarre, but I do suffer still. If I can't fix anything, then I'd rather not live. 110%. I would lay low, not let anyone know, and just pretend to have a bad fall at school or something. Oh, Lord, he hit his head. To account for my strange behavior, because obviously I don't talk or behave like a child anymore or remember every detail or name from back then. I'd be a little braver and a little kinder and take school seriously, because unfortunately, I was a dumbass and a cowardly shithead. I'd appreciate my family a little more and show my mom a lot more gratitude for everything she did for me. I'd have a lifetime to develop skills and learn new languages. I'd pretend to have learned about stocks and convince my mom to either invest her money or just ask for nothing but stocks for birthdays and Christmas. By the time I'm hitting my 20s, Bitcoin becomes a thing. I invest heavily there. Between my stock portfolio and my crypto, I'll be exceptionally wealthy. I carve my simple little slice of heaven for myself. A nice house with a beautiful view far out in the country that has a good internet connection and just live simply. With the remainder of my wealth, I'll open state-of-the-art community centers in areas that need them most. Pod-style shelters for the homeless so they can have privacy and an address to get employment, as well as rehab programs and mental health services. I could go on and on. I'd like to change a lot of the world for the better, but also for the selfish reason of having a do-over and not being such a worthless dumbass. A smile. When I was little, maybe 5 to 6 years old, my mom did a birthday party for me. She looked so beautiful in all the pictures and dressed me with this cute dress that my aunt sent me as a present. But the thing is that I didn't like pictures at that time, so in every one of them I look like I'm angry at my mom. And maybe I was, just because she asked me to smile, so that, if I could, I would go back in time and talk to the past little me like, "Can you please smile? Mom, look amazing, and you would regret it for the rest of your life for not having a cute picture with your mom. So please, from the bottom of my heart, please smile." Without hesitation, my father drowned when I was 11. I'm not the same person I was before that. I'd fix that and cherish every moment with him and everyone else afterward. I'd use my knowledge of future events to amass wealth and follow some impractical dreams. Oh boy, here I go with a long-winded explanation again. So basically, if I had the chance to go back with all of my current knowledge, I would. I think about what I would do. Every day, it would go in a series of steps. Step 1. Convince my parents that sending me to a French immersion school when I don't understand French is a terrible idea. I have a bit of regret because I met my 2 closest friends there, and if I never went there, we never would have met. This choice will save me a ton of academic problems I continue to suffer for today. I can't even do long division because of this. Step 2. Tell both of my parents who they are now. I would do this because they aren't together anymore today, and they both need to understand things about each other before it falls apart. And believe me, there is no fixing it, even with future knowledge. Step 3. Actually spend time with my grandfather before he dies. I remember so many people in my life. Even today, they tell me how alike we both are, but I never took the time to understand what they saw, and I regret that every day. Now this only covers the first 7 years of my life, and I mean starting from the point I could speak. I got about 10 more years of things to fix, so the next steps are generalized for repetition as the years go by. Example, focus more on studying and less on video games. Step 4. Actually go for it when I want to ask a girl out. I only asked out a girl for the first time recently, and I thought she had a boyfriend, but now I'm pretty sure she has a girlfriend. Step 5. Be a better student. I had problems with school growing up. Thanks to French immersion, I didn't learn half the fundamentals of school when I should have. It took me until this year, my final year of high school, to understand the importance of school, and now I would be lucky if any college in my country, Canada, accepted me. Okay, I guess that's all I would change had I had the chance to change my life. I don't always regret who I am, but it's hard not to look back on my life and not wonder how different I could be. Postscript. I would memorize some lotto numbers. I would fix my family and my academic failures in my past, along with some minor tweaks in my social life. No, that would mean going back in the closet. I've only had the strength to come out openly as transgender due to the support of friends and community I found as an adult. I had zero support systems as a child. Knowing who I am inside and being too afraid to express it was the worst kind of pain. You couldn't pay me enough to relive that. Makes me really glad that young trans kids have better social resources now than they ever did in my day. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe.